Okay, right now I'm gonna take care of my little baby black and white spitting cobra. Keep the enclosures locked. And I like to use my Hex Armor gloves when handling them. Now, on the baby spitting cobra here, I don't put on my face shield, which I probably should. But I'm not going to wear my face shield because very docile, has never struck out at me. So what I do is, here he's hiding in his little hide here. I'm going to reach in here, remove his hide, and there's my little buddy right there. Now, even though he's never spit at me, I still don't want to get my face close to him. So now I use the stick to pick him up, but I'll use the gloves because the gloves here allow me to control him better. I've never had a cobra bite the gloves before because it's just like using a stick basically, but I have more control over him. Now my baby's getting big, and we're going to put him here in a holding container while we clean out his enclosure. Now I like to use newspaper for the enclosure. This way I can see where they go to the bathroom. It's not hidden by any substrate. A lot of people say, well, they can't hide. Well, they do. They still hide. You can see here they'll crawl underneath the newspaper, but the newspaper makes it very simple. Clean. Voila. It's all done. I get some fresh newspaper, which I have over here. Unfortunately, where I work, they use flyers. So every couple weeks, I get a free batch of these flyers that they don't use, and I get to bring them home and use them for substrates for my snakes. Now I like to take water and I like to wet down the newspaper as I put it in here. I don't mist them every day or anything like that. This is just a one-time deal. When I change their paper, I will soak it down pretty good. Now it will dry out by the end of the day, but this way they'll get a little bit of moisture. I put their little hides back. He's got a nice little cave here, which is pretty cool. Little dragon head. And this is what he really prefers, is this little rock hide. And I'll take and I'll spray. I use the F10 SC veterinary cleaner for the enclosures and for the water bowls. Put on my Hex Armor gloves again. Open this up toward me, so if he decides to strike, which they never have, but he's right here waiting for me, you can see. A lot of times, like here, I'll just leave him come out on his own. I'll hook him a little bit. Support the front part of his body. And get his head to go in there first. And here, as you can see, here's the baby black and white spitting cobra. The mouse that we left in his enclosure. He's over here and he's chomping down on it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time letting you watch him eat that. But I just wanted to show you that, you know, just because they don't take it from you doesn't mean they're not going to eat it. He waited till I put him back on the shelf and wasn't messing with him no more, and he went over there when he was undisturbed, and now he's eating his food. There's a padlock that goes through the strap to keep it from being opened up. Waiting for us. do is we're going to let him know we're here. He shed it, as you can see here. And he also makes a mess of his newspaper. We're going to let him know we're here. Alright, there he is. He's up. Now I'm going to hook him, and I'm going to bring him, at least his tail part, toward me. As you can see, he doesn't try to bite me. Get him up here. And we bring him over here to where we're going to hold him. You see a nice flare. He loves to flare out like that. And we're going to put him in here. Look at him. Open his mouth. That's what he's the best for. That's why he's great at shows. We're going to get him to go in here. Lock him down, and he's good to go till we clean his enclosure. Alright, now comes the part I like the best, is my Egyptian Cobra. He doesn't like to eat by himself, so I have to tube feed him. As you can see, he's already striking up here at the top, so I definitely take the lid off like this as a shield and then step away. He's right here waiting. Put my hands up with the hex armor gloves to keep him at a distance, and I take this tube and we're going to tube him. So now sometimes I can slide the tube over his head while he's here like this, and he will crawl right up into here. Today he's kind of pretty ornery, but you do it nice and slow and easy. And oh, we didn't do it. So now we're going to pick him up, since we already have him, and we're going to ease him into the tube just like so. Now we have to take the glove off, which a lot of people would probably think I wouldn't take that glove off right now, but we need to, because I need more control over him. Now that he's in the tube, I got him up here, he's in the tube, I switch hands, so he's wrapped, being held with the tube and his body with my left hand, and his head's just toward the top. Support the rest of him. I bring him over here to tube feed him. I'm going to hold him here, and he's starting to come out a little bit, so we're going to pull him back in. We don't want him sliding out. Want to make sure you keep control of the tail, because if he wraps that tail around something, he can pull pretty hard. We take our tube here and we work our way slowly, get him to open his mouth. So we'll nudge the sides of his mouth here until he gets aggravated enough to open it up. There he goes, and we'll slide it all the way in. Now I slide it pretty far in, especially with him, because he has a habit sometimes of pushing the food back out. So right now I feel that tube just passing my hand, and I'm going to use this, and I'll pull it down, and it's at 50 cc's right now, and I want to give him 30. So I'm going to do this nice and slow, so it gives him time to move the food through his system. A lot of them I'll do it really quick because they won't push it out, but this guy, he will push it out, so I do it nice and slow. This takes a lot longer than what it normally would. And now we've got 20 cc's in him. We got 10 more to go. I just watch his mouth to make sure that it doesn't start oozing out his mouth. If it does, it's not going to hurt him, but then I have to simply wash him and the tube off. And now, because this doesn't have a full sweeping motion, sometimes I have to readjust it and add the last 3 cc's of food right there into him. Now this is the part that's going to tell me if he's going to swallow it all or if I'm going to have to rinse him off. I slowly, or he'll help me slowly take it out of his mouth, and this time he has swallowed all the food. He's got a nice full belly full of nice turkey and eggs, vitamins and water, and he's as happy as he's going to be, which is never too happy. He's a pretty ornery snake. You can hear him hissing in there right now, letting me know. He will spit in my face. He lines the front of his enclosure up with venom many times when he's in a cranky mood. And again, if you notice, we have holes drilled into the hide so I can take the hide out, and I can guarantee you he is going to get very, very defensive really quickly. So let me put the shield down, so my voice is going to change a little bit behind the shield. Hopefully you can still hear me. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off. Get my tongs here and get my snake stick ready. As I need to be able to do everything rather quickly. So again, I hook it. Lift it up here, and there he is, sitting there so pretty. Just waiting. He knows I'm here. And he's always ready to go, and I gotta be ready in case he decides to try to dart. See him starting to flare out already. He knows I'm here. Again, handling him the same way. He will flare out, but he tends not to want to bite the gloves. And I take him out. Look at that beautiful, beautiful flare we got there. And we're going to put him down in here. And we just get his tail in there first, then his head. And then we get the lid on very quickly, but slowly and secure. Kind of a contradiction, quickly but slowly. When I did that, I meant slowly as in not so fast that I would start to make a lot of mistakes, but as quickly as possible. And he's went to the bathroom here, so we gotta clean this up. As I said before, I love using newspaper as substrate. It's very easy to clean up. Also, I can see where he's gone to the bathroom very easily. Get that out of here. Pick that up. And we'll spray it with some veterinary cleaner, disinfectant. The other part with newspaper is you see where they go to the bathroom very quickly, which is what I like. Sometimes it doesn't look good because there's normally always a pile of poop in the enclosures, because they always tend to go to the bathroom right away. We grab some newspaper here. Put the newspaper in there. Again, I like to take my water bottle and really wet the newspaper down quite a bit. I do it a couple reasons. Gives them a little water so they can absorb it into their skin, but it also helps to keep the paper down and in place while the snake goes back in. It won't move as readily. I'll put his hide back in here, and now I'm going to slide the lid on. I love critter keeper cages because they have the sliding lids. When you push them in, they lock, and then when you can padlock the front here. So I don't have to ratchet strap it or anything. It comes pretty well equipped. Now I'm going to take him out of here. And I have to put on the face shield. Because this guy does like to spit in your face. And as you probably saw before, he was striking at me through the plastic here. I'll hold my hand over like this so in case he comes up I can slow him down. But pretty much what I'm going to do is hook him. And I want him to come up. I'm going to grab a hold of him, making sure I control the front part of the head pretty much. And we will simply get his head down in there. And again, while I put his head down first, I have to make sure that he doesn't come flying back up and out. Now he's locked into his enclosure. You can take the shield back off and put my hat on. My hat's very important to me. I always have a hat on. Usually you won't see me without a hat very often unless it's in church. Then we padlock the enclosure back up. It's got a nice clean enclosure, as you can see here. He's just looking around. He's not trying to attack me. Cobras get a bad reputation of being aggressive when they're not really aggressive. They are very defensive. They do like to bluff a lot. But as I said before, I've yet to have one bite my gloves. They will strike at my open hand. They will hit it, but they don't actually bite. And with the black and white spitting Cobra, we all showed you we also had the baby. Now the baby is very laid back compared to this guy. This guy's in a pretty good mood today. If he wasn't, we would start seeing lines of venom dripping down the front of this glass because he would keep striking over and over and spitting venom at us. And here's our big black and white spitting Cobra. He's in his enclosure. I'm just giving you a little show of what he does. Okay, we're going to hook him now. Get in here, get a hold of his tail, move him forward, grab him by his tail, move him closer to us, slowly moving him forward and forward into my hand. As we've done here, get the lid ready, get him in here, put him down, and lock him down very quickly. Alright, now we're going to take him back out of here. We've done the maintenance we needed to in his hide. Again, he's quite large, so what we're going to do is we are going to, we hear him hissing. Again, taking the lid off closed, using it as a shield till we see where he's at. He's on the bottom, hissing quite loudly. Going to hook him very carefully and slowly till we grab him. Then we get rid of the stick really quick. And as he comes up, he will give us a nice flare here. Beautiful shot. And I will grab the back side of him to support him. And he will head right back into his enclosure and just crawl right away from me. See, they put on quite a display, but they're really not looking to get into much of a fight with you. They just want to bluff, get you to leave them alone. Okay, and here is my Suphan Cobra. And take the lid off here. Now I've drilled holes in most of my hides so that I can reach in here, grab a hold of the hide with my long 24-inch hemostats and carefully pick this up off of them. As you can see, he's laying there. He's not sleeping, obviously, because he's flicking his tongue, so he knows we're here. And he's up and awake. Now, again, he's a beautiful Cobra. He's pretty much bluffing right now. He is a good thickness. So again, we're going to slowly grab him. And you can see he's not very happy about that. But once we grab a hold of him here, he's probably not going to give us too much trouble. We'll get him up, get a hold of him here in his front. Move him over. He doesn't flare a whole lot. There he is. Beautiful. Alright. Set him down in here, let him go back. He's working his way out of my hand and right into the enclosure here. Now we're going to get him back out of here. As I've said every time, and you're going to hear it again, I'm going to open the lid toward me as a shield. Okay, I can see where he is, and I can use my hand with the gloves on to defend myself if I have to. When I first touch him, he's probably going to huff and puff. You hear him. Slowly pick him up, and we grab a hold of him. Now, as you can see, they don't try to bite the glove. And we move him over here, and we let him come in here. Now, being very careful, knowing he can just shoot right up and out of here. So I'm very careful not to lose the fact that I might need to put my glove up and keep him from coming out. I'm going to put the lid over on this side. His tail still hang out of the tank. Tickle his tail a little bit. He'll pull it right in. And then we'll put the screen down. And then we'll lock him down with the ratchet strap. At this point now he's in there. He's not coming out, so I can take my gloves off. And he's just going to explore around. Suphan Cobras are actually locality Monocled Cobra. They're very beautiful, as you can see. They're tannish. They got a little silverish on the head. Kind of looks like a nice graying old man there. It's not overly aggressive, but again, he does show his defensive right away. See, he likes to flare up. Very beautiful. I don't want to smack his face into the glass. A lot of people say, oh, you're teasing them and they're going to smack their face into glass. Well, I don't need to tease them for them to do that. They typically will do that automatically. When they're out, you walk around and scare them. They have a tendency to want to flare up, strike at you. Again, I haven't had one Cobra that I've had so far ever actually bite the gloves. Once I hold them, normally they flare right down. It's kind of hard, except for the Egyptian Cobra and the large Monocled Cobra. Most of them, when I'm holding them, won't flare out. They'll just look like a regular type of rat snake, basically. So we're going to put this back up here, our ratchet strap. The reason I like the ratchet straps is because I can still use the screen tops that I already have. They will tighten down and hold that enclosure very tight. There's no way that lid's coming off of there. And again, with drilling a hole through the ratchet itself, I get the lock through there and then through the hole through the handle. I am easily able to put a padlock on here so that nobody is able to open that up.